Hello to all my MMA fans. I am with a very special guest, and I am currently in her house recording this interview. It is Veronica Vargas, and she is currently in Chicago training with Valet Flow Striking, and she is getting ready for a big fight come February 21st live on UFC Fight Pass for Fury Fighting Championship. So Veronica, how are you doing, my friend? Happy full moon.
Happy full moon, my love. I'm very excited. It's been a very long camp, almost a week till waiting. So, oh my God, I have been so focused in this camp. It's been like starting December, so I'm really excited right now.
I'm so excited for you. I saw your recent Instagram story. You're always looking in shape, but now I know you're like in the phase where you're cutting down, looking to make that weight. So, how has that process been for you? Because I know most of the times you do your training camps in Costa Rica, but now you're in Chicago. So, how is it like kind of adapting to that setting?
Um, 2023, when I restarted fighting, I cut to 115. So going now to 125 is always easy. That was insane. So no, it's the same process. Just be very disciplined, very cautious, but it's been very easy. Like I have not even been hungry. I had a very good nutritionist last year, so I learned a lot from her. A lot of peanut butter, a lot of guacamole. So not hungry at all, just very excited.
I love it. And for those of the people watching that don't know, Veronica and I know each other from her time at Combate Global, going undefeated with them. Now she's made the transition. But your performances in Combate Global all stand out. They were all very dominant, very high pace. So when you think back to your Combate Global career, do you have a specific fight that you're most proud of?
I don't know. They were very different. One was in February, the other was in May, very close, but uh, it was very hard for me, especially because in Costa Rica, there's almost no MMA, and I was doing camps from Costa Rica. So I think the most challenging part of both fights was not having a corner, an MMA corner. Oh my God. That's why I just kept pushing to find another fight so I can possibly have an MMA corner. I hope for this fight I'm gonna have it. I'm hoping that someone from Valley Flow is gonna come. So both make me proud to answer your question, but I don't know. Both were really hard.
And so you're training in Chicago right now. The fight is in San Antonio, and there it hasn't been confirmation on who is going to be in your corner. That's kind of crazy, no? Or is it going to be figured out soon?
No, there's a guy, Luis Chacon from Costa Rica, that's coming, but it's not the same one from Costa Rica as one from the States. It's not me like talking bullshit about Costa Rica, but it's the truth. Like MMA in the States is completely, it's more evolved, you know? Like we have our thing, we have our jiu-jitsu in Costa Rica, we have our Muay Thai in Costa Rica, we have our boxing in Costa Rica. But to close the gap for MMA, I sure need to come here, you know?
And I remember when you texted me that you were going to sell your car and move, and you just knew that this was your moment. Can you tell me about that process for you and how, like, what shifts needed to happen in order for you to make such a big decision, moving from Costa Rica to the States to really pursue MMA and a fight camp in the States?
Okay, so I think after my last fight with Nadia Vera, that fight was insane. Like people don't know how much we as fighters struggle with promotions, with fighters, with everything, with trainers. So that fight, like I really got to acknowledge my capacity to adapt really fast. They changed my opponent 3 times for that fight. I had a cut, 5 stitches 1 month before. So although I trained very hard for that fight, it was very challenging. I had Nadia 2 weeks before. She was 8 fights. She had 8 fights, two in Invicta. Oh, sorry, one in Invicta and another in Legacy. And so she was very experienced. I just had 3 fights. Also, she was a champion at Budocento. So I took that fight. I knew it was gonna be like very challenging. So after I won that fight, I said to myself like, "Oh my God, Veronica, this is our time. If we made this, we can do whatever." Then I came back to Chicago, August, and I was training with Juliana Peña here in Valley Flow, and she was preparing for her title fight. I was in the cage with her like 3 times before I got injured, and I don't know. I felt very secure. The rounds I had with her, I really respect her and admire her, of course, but I also got to acknowledge that I'm not afraid and that I can do this. So I'm pretty excited.
And what is that like? Because not only do you have Juliana Pena at your gym, you also have Bilal Muhammad, so a lot of championship level energy over there at VFS. What has it been like training there and the level of training that you've been getting?
Yeah, the level is very high. I'm from Costa Rica, so living in Chicago, here they go so fast. Like life is so fast, hustle, hustle, hustle. And I'm from Costa Rica, pura vida. Like I am very like I'm a pharmacist. Like I know how to put hard work, like I do it. But here, like you have to really adapt. And it's amazing. It's also Jair, 3 champions, 3 UFC champions in Valley Flow. So it's a gift, I don't know, from God, that to be able to train with 3 UFC champions, same place, like sometimes like just with 20 people and 3 UFC champions. So I think, yeah, the energy is other type of energy. Like what I have learned the most the last days training there is that when you're watching like these fights in the TV, you think that everything is like so easy or perfect, like oh they get the belt, blah blah blah. Like you just see like the easy parts, but you don't get to see the struggle, like the injuries, the pain, the fighting with people, the personal problems. So now what I've learned the most about this camp is like you might think that you can get like a perfect camp for a fight, that in order for you to win a fight you need a perfect camp, but a perfect camp doesn't exist. So you should like just put your 100% every day. And that's what I learned of these guys. Like they're human, they're champions, they're human, but it's a mindset, it's a different mindset that they're just gonna go all in. So I think that's the part of me that resonates with these UFC champions, is that my mindset.
And I know that there has been some adversity in the whole move, and then in the few weeks, I guess in the initial weeks of you getting to Chicago, I won't say exactly what happened, but can you talk to me about anything that happened that you're willing to share about the adversity of this fight camp and how you were kind of able to come back from that, maybe come out an even stronger fighter? Because like you said, there are crazy things that happen in training camps, and you have to just keep your head down and continue grinding, even though everything doesn't always go to plan.
I know, yeah. So as I said, I started camp probably like December, and so it was very challenging for me to come back to Chicago because it's always a challenge. I like you don't know where you're gonna stay, how you're gonna get food. Oh my God, for me coming here is like the Hunger Games, something like that. Like grab this, the water, blah blah, like just running. It's crazy. But now I'm so happy because I was so worried about coming with the snow and everything, because when you're cutting weight and when you're training a lot, of course your immune system is going to be affected. So now with all these bacteria in the gym and everything, oh my God, like I brought like all my long sleeves and everything so covered, like just my face like this. Like, okay, now let's go to like take a shower. So I don't know. I've learned so much in this camp. Like you can control some things, but others you just have to trust the plan of your path. I don't know, and go with the flow, kind of. So yeah, I was very stressful. I think about the weather, and today it started
Yeah,
snowing a lot.
Chicago
So I'm
doesn't
like,
play.
okay, yeah,
Yeah, it's currently snowing really badly where I'm from in Virginia. In Chicago, I know is much colder. So I don't know. Is it snowing where you guys are at now?
Today, yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So how does that affect you being able to get around?
No, I mean, it's just like you have to be more cautious about not getting sick, especially me. Like fight week is next week, you know. So I'm just like very, I don't know, like having all my supplements. Like I think I never in my life I had so many supplements. Good thing about the States, it's all the supplements they have for everything.
Yes, I'm so happy that everything is staying healthy. I was there for both of your fights with against Blanca Medina and then Nadia Vera, and then we were in Costa Rica together when we were calling out some different Combate Global fighters. So, is there any part of you that now that you're not with Combate Global, is there any matchup that was in Combate Global that you were like, oh, I wish we got to run that one? But, now you're on to bigger things.
No, I don't think so. I think I'm very happy now to be fighting at Fury because it's more MMA. I think Combate Global has more strikers, and that's fine. But I think where I'm going, I need to prove myself in in like MMA environment, not just like a striker. So not really.
And when we think about one of your craziest knockouts against Fernanda Munoz, that was a vicious knockout. That was in 2018. You took time off before coming back to MMA. So tell me about the decision to take time off and how that, like, was it just like when you were in your pharmacist job, were you just like, I really have the itch to fight again? Like, what brought you back into MMA?
Okay. So when I was fighting MMA back in the day, we didn't have like flyweight category. So starting with that, oh my God, it was so hard because Valentina Shevchenko, she was a flyweight and she had to fight in the UFC in 135. So yeah, starting with that, that was an issue. And also, I was putting so much effort, and I got the knockout and everything in live TV in Costa Rica. And I was like, I thought like, okay, I knocked this girl on the Saturday, and on Monday they're gonna be calling me to offer sponsors, blah blah blah. No, nothing happened. So I was like heartbroken, and I was like, no, this is too hard. Like I'm putting so much effort. So I retired and I started in a phase of my life that I had to like face all my demons, like most of them. And yeah, I retired. I was never gonna come back. Then in 2022, I started jiu-jitsu and I started competing again, but I was not wanting to compete again. This is MMA is too hard, you know? And if I do it with all my heart. So I started competing jiu-jitsu. Then I got a contract with Combate. That was the contract that I always wanted. And I don't know. Since I signed that contract, like it just kept building. And I'm so excited because this was my dream all along. Like I started my MMA career for this, for being today here. But it was not probably the time. I was facing other battles, you know, internal battles that I needed to face in that moment for me to be able to be very strong for this fight. Totally different fighter. Yes, I knocked her out, but I was fighting from another place, you know. Now I'm like, I know now I'm an athlete. I know for what I fight, I'm very connected to my purpose, you know, and fighting right now is very spiritual for me. It always was, but now, oh my God, like it's amazing. I love it. How this path transforms me from the inside out.
Yeah, I definitely don't know any other fighter that is as spiritual and as intuitive and just as knowledgeable as you. And it's really such a beautiful thing to be able to see someone That's so emotionally intelligent, be able to bring that to a physical state. And just all the work that you've been putting in is so inspiring. And now everything about your story is such divine timing. We have to talk about you manifesting, you meeting Dana White randomly in Chicago. Like, what are the, or no, it was in Utah. Like, what are
Uh-huh.
the odds of you manifesting, meeting Dana White, and telling him that you were going to be fighting in the UFC someday?
Yeah, that was crazy. But at the end of of the day, I think fighters are like these fierce souls, you know? And I think we are the mirrors for humanity right now, like to awaken and to fight for their dreams. So it might be crazy, but at the end, we are all of us are like helping each other, you know? Like me connecting with you a year ago, and now it has just been a year, and it feels so deep, the connection, you know.
It feels so long. Like, I feel like I've known you forever.
Exactly, we are very connected to our passion and our purpose, I feel.
It's definitely such a beautiful thing. I was just thinking today about how combat sports in general, you make different types of connections, because I don't know if you used to play sports when you were younger, but like the type of connections that I got with basketball are still very deep in like childhood like, but they're not like the ones from combat sports. So what would you say martial arts has done for you and either your relationships and just your entire life in general?
Oh my God, martial arts saved my life since day one. I mean, when my parents got divorced, I knew I wanted to do something very hard because I gained some weight. And since I don't know, my home got broken, instead of like going to party and doing stupid things, I found martial arts, and oh my God, it changed my life. And I know a lot of people feel the same as me, you know? It gives me so much discipline, so much light. I think martial arts, the thing is like it's so hard that you have to be willing to be your highest version in every sense. Weight, mindset, the gym, the people you are connecting with, like you want to clean everything, like it to be like perfect, like the best you can. So I think it's amazing. It's a very funny portal.
It's such a portal, and you were such an inspiration to me because just I've talked to you about how sometimes I feel like I struggle with like discipline and eating and all that. And I remember when we hung out in June, just seeing like you don't even put that much thought into it, but like we'll be at an all you can eat buffet, but you'll only eat like the small portions, and you don't even have like a fight signed or anything, but you're just eating the right way. And like I think that's just like little pieces of discipline that you've learned on this fighter journey, that like you need to keep your weight somewhat low so it's easier for you to cut the weight. And it's just like you said, like the martial artist discipline. So that's so amazing that you have found that and you found a love for martial arts in that sense. Meanwhile, your mom is over here about to take over Costa Rica, become the president. So you have like so much divine feminine energy and power that comes like through your bloodline, really. So what is it like being able to, I know you said that your parents getting divorced was such a big motivation for you to get into martial arts, but what is it like having such a powerful mom in your life, being able to be that motivation or that fuel for you in your career?
Oh my God, yeah. My mom as an ancestor, because she's still alive, but she is like, you know, before me. I think she's just opening doors and doors and doors for me to believe that I can do whatever. And I think me as her mirror, I'm doing the same. Like probably she will never be fighting in the States. So I think we are very good mirrors. We inspire each other so much, and we rely on each other so much. So I think it's both ways. Probably in the past I was thinking like most that she was the one, but I think nowadays it's both of us.
And she's come to some of your Combate Global fights. Will she be there in San Antonio?
No, I don't think so. She has to work a lot.
Oh, well, I'm sure. she'll see the highlights of you getting the win. I know with this fight that you have coming up, so much prep has been going into it. Your opponent, Soto, I don't know much about her, but I know that you've had a few different changes in opponents or potential matchups you've had. So, what can you tell me about this matchup stylistically?
Okay, I'm very excited about this fight because we really got to study the fighter. As I told you before, last fight with Nadia, it was like improvising. And with this fight, I love that this girl is very like smart. Like she knows what she's doing. She's very experienced. She's tough. She likes to pressure with like boxing stance. So I'm very excited because I'm a southpaw and I'm ready to bring all the magic of the southpaw stance. Yeah, I think I feel very strong, very prepared. I'm very excited, very excited.
And this is going to be streaming live on UFC Fight Pass, one step closer to getting into the UFC. I mean, is that your dream goal to make it into the UFC and really contend in that flyweight division?
Yes, 100%.
And when you look at the current state of the UFC in that flyweight division, what excites you about the potential matchups that are there?
Oh my God. I don't know. I think nowadays there is no one easy, you know? Probably in the past, I don't know, like when Ronda Rousey was fighting, like a lot of people, they didn't know what they were doing, but oh my God, they are so vicious right now. So smart, so strong. I need to be really prepared for that also. Yeah. This has been a very long camp and I want to rest after this, most mentally, but I know I have to put a lot of work to like be able. It's not just about going to like do the debut, you know, it's about winning in the UFC. That's other level. It's not easy at all. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited. I've been putting the work since long time ago. I'm not new at this. I've been in martial arts since 2012. So I'm bringing everything I have.
And I know that discovering Renzo Gracie, Costa Rica was a big turning point in your grappling journey. So, what has it been like? I know you're not getting to train with them much for this training camp, but they really built a foundation for your grappling style. So, what has it been like being able to train with Arturo?
Oh no, Arturo is other level. I have this anecdote from the past. It's so magical. So back in 2017, I made my pro debut and I was training with Arturo, but it was very like very basic, very not that much training. But I was fighting. Okay, again they like changed my opponent, and now I was fighting a girl from Venezuela, and she was a medalist, Olympic medalist, and this girl was a grappler. So I was like, oh my god, let's go because I was a striker. So in that time, it was like a clash of styles, like the beginning of martial arts. So grappling against striking, and so this girl, oh my god, she took me down in the second round, but I think she was already hit. I already hit her, but she took me down in the second round, and I was like in a very bad position. And then I heard like the voice of Arturo saying like, "Take her back, go, blah blah blah." Like I started like he was not in the fight. He was not in the fight, and then I took her back and I made I did a red naked choke, and it was since that fight I knew that I had to do this because it's so magical, you know, like I don't understand how that happened because we didn't practice it that much. So I said like, oh no, I need to keep going there to see what's going on with this. I need to study my psyche because it's crazy how it works. It's crazy how you, like, in your moments of so much pressure, like your unconscious mind comes in and it helps you to solve the problem. I love it. I love it.
Yes, I can only imagine having him in your corner and like him telling you the one thing to do and then it ends up in a submission. So that's amazing. It's been awesome to be able to train with him a little bit. So I just want to thank you for sharing your
Of
jujitsu
course.
home with me too, because they're the freaking best. I love it. I know Stefan is around here somewhere. He's sleeping right now. What's it like being away from your lover boy?
Oh my
This is
God.
Stefan is her cat, guys. So that's who I'm referring to.
Oh my God. Yeah, he's the love of my life. It's hard. It's hard, but he has good aunts that come to take care of him. So I'm excited for him to have like this. In relationships, you always need sometimes like separation for them to flourish.
Yes. And then for you guys to miss each other. I know he's going to be so excited for when you come back. I can't believe the countdown is really so soon. It's just a week away. February 21st, live on UFC Fight Pass. Fury Fighting Championship. Veronica Vargas is going to get her hand raised, so you guys better watch it live on UFC Fight Pass. Veronica, is there any sponsors, teammates, or anyone that you want to give a shout out to before we wrap up?
Oh yeah, for sure. First of all, I want to thank Manto, especially Manto Latam, because they have believed in me since almost like more than 2 years, I think. So I love them, Manto. And Submission Mouthguards, Renzo Gracie, Ballaflow Striking. Oh my God, I don't remember the names right now, but I have a lot of sponsors for my back, um, for taking care of my muscles. So yeah, no, I don't remember. Let's leave it like that. But yeah, thank you so much for all the people that supports me, especially in Costa Rica. But in Chicago too, I have a lot of people here. I'm so excited. My heart is like this, like in half, like Chicago, Costa Rica, like yeah.
I know. Costa Rica will always be home, but always be waiting for you. It's good that you're
Ah, and
grinding
Get
it out.
Fitzel, Get Fitzel, my sponsor in Chicago.
We love it. Well, hope you stay warm in Chicago. I know you're going to be in San Antonio next week. Thank you so much, Veronica, for the time, and we cannot wait to see you compete live on UFC Fight Pass.
Thank you, love. Thank you so much.
If you enjoyed that interview, be sure to check out this one.